Alright, birthday Howard, birthday Howard, birthday Howard, birthday Howard, Kafla Howard, Howard, Watson, Howard Kakadash. Double honor to the elder apostle, great minister who will, sincere citation, I can preach the truth. Across the four corners of the earth to the fear of power, how about sunshine of the hope of elect. Salutations to the Israelite foreign that gather amongst the nations that believe in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the sister and family that tune into this gospel that preach around the whole world. Peace and mercy unto you, and who the world inwardly call God, his name is Yahweh, and who the world inwardly call Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. And we're the Hebrew Israelite, that's what's this. So you still call Nicolai, Singular Mercy. And those who line the sin go back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel due to the gathering amongst the nations. Now it's going to be on, which is part of prophecy, but going into starvation, alright? How it's better to be killed by the sword than by hunger, alright? Which is due to famine, which a lot of these 2/3 are going to experience, alright? These 2/3 of Israel, alright? You niggas, you so-called Latino, Native Americans, and Negroes, alright? That don't get right with the Heavenly Fathers. And it's telling you how about you outside, y'all gonna be killed by the family, alright? It's telling you y'all gonna be killed by the sword, stoned by the family, and stoned by other slaves, alright? They tell you that in Ezekiel, real quick. So it's just get Zechariah 13. Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land stays the Lord Yahweh shall shine. We talk about here in America. Okay, it's 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, which is 2/3. But the third shall be left therein, and that's talking about the 1/3, alright, the elect. But we're gonna focus on the 2/3, on the 2 parts, alright, which are you 2/3. So it said, part family. Let's say that in Ezekiel. Right here, Ezekiel 5 and 12. It said, a third part of these shall die with the pestilences, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of these. And a third part shall fall by the sword round about these. Alright, that's talking about the gun today. Alright. And I will scatter the third part into all the wind, and I will draw out a sword after them. Alright. So the part we'll focus on is a third part, and these shall die with the pestilences, and with famine shall they be consumed in the midst of these. Alright, so some of y'all will die by way of famine. Okay? Which is the lack of food, which is prophecies. Alright, in Matthew 24, it tells you right here in verse, these are all the things that are going to happen before y'all shine comes out. Matthew 24 and 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Here's the point right here, and there shall be famine, and pestilences, and earthquake in diverse places. And go back to it there, and then there shall be famine, alright? So there could be a famine, alright? And that could be a part of the time of Jacob's trouble, okay? So yes, there could be a lack of food out here. But to tell you what, right? Like it. Back to Lamentations 4 and 9. Alright, Lamentations 4 and 9 say what? Even though you're gonna die, but it's better to die this way. Lamentations 4 and 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Alright, why? Because you go with the sword, it's a quick death. But if you slain with hunger, starvation, you're going through a process of dying. Alright? It's there for these kind of ways, quickens through for want of the fruit of the field. Alright, so let's go look up starvation. Okay. That's what happens. You know, famine, lack of food. Now we went to starvation. Basically, go back to being hungry. Alright. It's their pining away. Okay. If the starvation is a severe deficiency in calorie energy intake below the level needed to maintain an organism's life. It is the most extreme form of malnutrition. Alright? Because it leads to death, that's why. And human prolonged starvation can cause permanent organ damage and eventually death. Okay? Why? Because their body is going through different stages. Okay? There are changes in behavior or mental status. Alright? Physical signs. You got weakened immune system. You got stages of starvation. Alright? The symptom of starvation show up in three stages. Phase one, you know what? Before we get that, look up pine away. Alright. Hunger is basically where that's basically famine, hunger. Alright. The pine away. It's the womp, the blow, the gush, how is pine away. Basically to waste away. Alright. It's going to waste away. It's the stricken, it's the car, basically out here to starve. Alright. Now let's go back to the Wikipedia. The three stages, alright, or phases. If the symptom of starvation show up in three stages, phase one and two can show up in anyone that skips meals, diet, and goes through fasting. Phase three is more severe and results from long-term starvation, can be fatal. Alright, let's go straight to phase three. Alright, by this point, the fat stores are gone and the body begins to turn to store protein for energy. This means it needs to break down muscle tissues, which are full of protein. Alright, and that's why it becomes very, it'll be basically skin on bone, like this picture right here, the bottom corner right. Alright, so it took all the muscle away. Instead, the muscle break down very quickly. Protein is essential for our cells to work properly, and when it run out, the cell can no longer function. Alright, you can't move. The cause of death due to starvation is usually an infection or other result of tissue breakdown. The body is unable to gain enough energy to fight all bacteria and viruses. The signs at the end stages include hair color loss, skin flaking, swelling in the extremities, and a bloated belly. Even though they may feel hunger, people in the end stage of starvation are usually unable to eat enough food. Alright. So basically it's kind of hard to reverse it. That's the thing. Okay. So that's pretty much it on that. And basically it's for you Jake. For you 2/3, alright? It's part of your punishment for being wicked. So the chapter is, what is it? 15. Wait, is it 15? Yeah, it's the 2 Corinthians 15 and 4. Instead, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plague upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Alright? So, Yahweh shall shine to bring these things. Alright? And we're just focusing right now on the famine. Alright? And these things are there to correct you. But you're not always mindful of the scourges, as the scripture says. Let's get that real quick. What is that? The rock. 34. 43. Track 43. That's not it. Let's look it up. Oh, so the next chapter over 15. Alright. It's the 2 Corinthians 15, and we'll start at 18. The beginning of sorrow and great mourning. The beginning of famine. Yeah, the beginning of famine. Okay. And great death. The beginning of war, and the power shall stand and bear. The beginning of evil. Alright. So these things going to take place. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Alright. It's Ezra that was doing this. It said, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are things as scourges for amendments. Alright, these are 2/3. These are not for the elect. Alright. Now we get that scripture next, alright? So the elect will eat, alright? The elect not to be taken out by starvation. It says, verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Okay? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as a scourge for a minute. Alright, these are instruments to correct you 2/3, but you're not gonna turn to your wickedness. Alright, the next verse explain that. Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be mindful nor be always mindful of the scourges. Alright, so they're not gonna be mindful of the instrument, which is the famine. Alright, the plague, the pestilences. That's why you're gonna die by those things. Okay? That day, how about shall shine? I'm gonna jump down to 42. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. Alright, so that's a lot of you niggas gonna die by the lack of food. You're gonna be starving. You're gonna wish that you had got taken out by a bullet. And the other that escape the hunger shall the destroy. Alright, so if you do escape the famine, you still gonna die. Alright, so what is that back in Lamentations? Lamentations 4:9 said what? They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Alright, so if you take the famine, you're gonna have a better death than somebody that's dying of hunger. Alright? But nonetheless, you're still gonna die for your wickedness. Alright? The last scripture. So with the elect, That my servant shall eat. Are you niggas not gonna be eating? Okay. It's Isaiah 55 and 13. It says thus, yes, the verse 13, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Alright? Servant's gonna be eating. All you niggas, you two thirds, gonna be starving. You're gonna be hungry. Alright? That's the point. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart. Alright? And we just read in 2nd 15 how all these are the beginning of sorrow, the beginning of family. Alright? And shall howl for vexation of spirit. Okay? So the elect gonna be eating while you niggas is gonna be starving. Alright? And you're gonna die. And you're starvation. Alright? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh outside. And that's prophet, and that's part of prophecy. Okay? So that's pretty much that was get on that. So with that, shalom.